Okay guys, this is lecture 6, C++ programming. Today we're gonna talk about, let's see, conditional statements, or conditional structure, or another name they can call it control statement or control structure. And what I mean by that is if statements, or let's put them under here, if statements if else statements, okay, and if else if nested statements. And I can comment those by using So we have three types of conditional statements or control structures, which is if statements, if else, and if else, which is, let's say, nested statement, nested if else. There's another one which is a switch statement, and we'll take it after we finish those. So what do we mean by conditional statement or control structures? This gives us a simple choice of choosing to output or to do or to add something to a function, a statement, output, or not. So it's given us the choice inside the code if we want to do this or not, depending on a condition, or what they call a conditional expression. And here's what an if statement looks like. If, and I'll have the conditional here, expression or condition, and this means if the condition, whatever the condition is true, do this. If the condition is true, do this. For an example of a condition, I can say, well, if num1 all we do it is greater than 0, I can say, well, here, let's do, okay, let's do this, get it back here. If this, if num1, if num is greater than 0, see out it's a positive number. Sometimes I don't know, I prefer it's a positive number. This is an if statement, and it's giving us the choice. If it's greater than 0, do this. If not, just gonna skip this part. We have this is the first kind of if statements. If statements. We have another kind where we have, and let's copy this. Okay, we're not gonna be. Let's copy all this. let's see, let's say here first type, and here we can have second type, which is the if else statement. If condition, do this, else what? Do this. So, and you can see why it's I'm gonna explain to you why it's in red later on. If this condition, and the condition should return here either true or false, 0 or 1, on or off. That's what I mean by it's like a Boolean expression. A condition, true or false. If true, we do this, or the program does this, else it does this. That's why they call it sometimes branching, going from one address. If the condition is false, this is gonna branch where? To this location. And an example, if num1 is greater than 0, see out it's a positive number, and we can say here else and we can say see out it's a negative number. And we should put the new lines, but this is just showing the example. So if I input, if num was 5, is it greater than 0? Yes, see out this. It will skip this part. Gives us the choice of picking which code we wanna execute. Now if this is, let's say, -2, is it greater than 0? False. No, it's not greater than 0. What do? See out it's a negative number. Let's see, and here both of those end with a semicolon. One of the common mistakes in C++ that people put a condition with the else here. They put whatever, num equals, let's say. Here we don't have a condition. Another, and it's a problem here. We can put a semicolon. We can't do that. No semicolons for the if, just for the first line. But for the C out, I have else, no semicolon, this semicolon. The third type is nested. I can say if num is greater than 0, which is the condition, I'll have what? Do this. I should have put a condition. Else, if I can have another condition, and I can say here, do this, and here I can say else if condition. Sorry, I went outside and to the bedroom, and the AC was really cold and came in my face, and now I'm coughing, and here I can put else. I should end with a else, but here we should do what? Do this, and else do this. So how can I translate this to this code? So I can say here, I can use the same one. I'll give an example here. I can say if number is greater than 0, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do cout, and I'll do it's a positive number, and it's good to put \n, new line. And if I had, okay, now, and let's put let's comment this part. We're gonna comment all that part later on. And now else, I can say if num is less than 0, I'm gonna do cout it's a negative number, \n, and line. We can also add, but it doesn't make sense here. We should finish it by else cout 0, but we can put else if num equals 0. I can do whatever I want here. Cout it's a 0. \n, semicolon, and I have to end it with what? An else by itself. And I can say here not recognized number, so we can say cout or not recognized input. That's it. But remember, this I just gave it as an example. Here we should finish it here. Else cout is 0. If it's the number is greater than 0, it's positive, less it's negative. Else, so this should be, and I'm going to take this part off now because I was just showing you that. Remember, this is a common mistake. Don't do if else with a condition. No condition for the else. It's the last one, and I can say cout it's a 0 \n and semicolon. Okay, now we have a couple of things. We have to end with an else. If, else if we can have as much as we want, but we have to end with a single else without an if. Here we can have an if by itself. If this true, do this. Else, just what? It's not gonna, just gonna continue whatever code I have after that. Why? Because C++ code is sequential, line after line, or statement after statement. Here what will I do? The second type, if this, do this. If the condition is true, else. This is a regular if else. Here we have a nested if else. And let's take an example on those. Let's say I'm going to declare a number. Let's say integer num, and I'm going to take it as a input here, and I can say cout please enter a number \n and semicolon to determine if it's a positive, negative, or 0. And here we should have a cin, and I'm gonna input num, and my algorithm, how is it gonna be? I'm gonna check. I'm gonna say if num, and what do I have, is greater than 0, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, anything greater than 0. What should I do? Cout it's a positive number. I'll do \n, close it, and this is, let's say, the first type, and I can do here a second type, and let's test it on num1, where I have it as -10, I'll have if what do I have, num1 is greater, and I can have here or equal 0. I want to consider the 0 as a positive number. I can say cout it's a positive number \n semicolon, and I'll have here else cout it's a negative number \n. I think I did here, where did it go? No, it's good. Negative. How did I write it? So this is the first if, the first type. If num is greater than 0, let's do what? Cout it's a positive. Here I'm doing if num is greater than or equals 0. Greater than and equals 0. Cout it's a positive number. Here we want to consider the 0 as a positive number. Else cout it's a negative number. We can use now the third type, and let's document. Let's put some documentation here. This is first type of if statement, and this is the second type. Here we have the third type. And here I'll have if, and I'll have an else if, and either I have an else if or an else by itself, but I have to end with what? An else, and this is called nested if statement. And now here I want to use an extra thing with it, and let's check. Okay, I can say if I'm gonna use both of the numbers, num is greater than 0, and I'm gonna use this operator, the AND operator, and num1 is also greater than 0. I can say here what am I gonna do? I'm gonna output, and here we can do something. If I need more than one statement for that if statement, I can put curly braces and declare a body for what? For this if statement, and I can do two statements. I can say C out, and I'll say both numbers are positive, and I'll have backslash in, and here and let's do anything here. I can set num equals num1, and here I can print C out just to show you num equals, and I can say here num, and then I can say num1 equals, and I can say num1 to see if they're equal. Else if. So all of those three statements are what? In the body of the first statement. If it's true, if this is true, it's gonna execute what? Those. Else if what? I can say num is greater than 0 and num1 is less than 0. I can say also give it, let's do this as a body of an if statement, more meaning I have more than one statement to execute, and I try to align it always. I can, so to save time, let's do this, control copy, and we'll change some stuff in it. If this is true, what am I gonna do? If num1 and 2, okay. Else if num is greater than 0 and num1 is less than 0, I can say one number is positive and one is negative, or num is positive and num1 is negative. Let's capitalize all of them, so I want, and I can say here num1 equals num, and I can print out to check, and here I need to add backslash in. Okay, now C++ is case sensitive, so be careful. this is the same as two end lines, and I want to add here another end line. So, and here an end line, and I want to make it look good. I can say here see out first type, and here let's make them 4. Let's add those just to distinguish them between them in the output, make it look better. And this I'm gonna say second type, and here I'm gonna say this is third type. Both numbers are positive. Num equals Cout num, and where did we stop? Here, this is this. Okay, now else I can say, well, if num is less or equal 0, and let's do or here, and here's the or sign, and I can say num1 doesn't equal 0. I'm trying to use all the operators that we have. We have 6 operators, so I used 1, 2, and here let's make it greater than or equal, and less than or equal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's make it equal 0. I can say I can have it now, just a single statement, Cout one number is a 0, and I can do \n, and yeah, I don't need anything more. Else I can just print Cout error or not determined or whatever I want, and I'll prefer to do an error message. Error input invalid, let's say, which is num1. And this is just to show you those different kinds of if else needed more than one statement. I can also put it in curly braces like this. This will take it as the body of the else statement, and I can leave this here. It will take it as a single statement. And so here are the 3 types. If num is greater than 0, Cout it's a positive number. Second type, I'm having if and else. If this is true, do this. If this is false, do this. And here I'm saying the third type, if nested. If this is true, print this, and skip, go, and continue whatever we have. whatever we have here. Now if this is false, I'm gonna go and check this. If this is true, print this. If it's false, it's gonna go to the else if, and it's gonna check this. If this is true, do this. If it's false, if all of those are false, it's gonna go and do this. And false, it's meaning a 0, true meaning a 1. But in if statements, if you say F7, F10, F20, if any number, but it's gonna take it as true, And let's see, we can now run this program. But what do we need to do here? Just comment those parts, and I'll put all of this in the comment section if you need it, guys. And it's gonna be end here, and I'm gonna add another lecture after this, and we're gonna try some different examples. This is just to show you the different parts. What else do I have? Okay, here I have an OR operator, here I have an AND operator. Those are called what? Let's add them here. We have different kinds of operator. The equal, not equal, and less, greater, less than, or greater than. Those are called comparison operators. Or they're called relational operators. Any one of those will work. And those are 6 operators, which is equal, not equal, and less than, greater than, and what do we have? Less than or equal, and greater than or equal. Those are the comparison operator. So what about the AND and OR? Those are called logical operators, and they are the AND, OR, and the NOT. And what I mean by AND, OR, or NOT, I can say here was the AND. If num1 is greater than 0 and num is greater than 0 and num1 is greater than 0, meaning both of the condition have to be true. In an AND, both of the condition true and true will give me what? True. What about true and false? True and false is false. False and true is false, and false and false is false. For an OR, what do we have? Here's an OR. If num0 or num1, either one of those condition, either one of those, if one of them is true or false, will give me a true. True or true will give me true. True or false will give me true. False or true will give me a true. The only time I get false is when we have what? False or false. In the AND situation it's different. It's true only when I have true and true. This is the difference between those logical operators. And now what I mean by the not is the complement. So I can say, okay, this check is num1 greater than 0, and let's say what's num1 num, and let's say we input 5, true, and num1 is greater than 0. What was num1? Negative 10. So what will this be? This will be if I said num is greater than 5 than 0, 5 greater than 0. If I had it 5 greater than 0 and negative 10, which is num1 greater than 0, if, and this should give me what? False. I have this false, false, and true will give me false. This will give me false. And now when I do all this, and let's copy it, which is false, and add the not to it, that means it converts it to true. So not this, which is means not false, will give us true. See how we can play around with the logical operators, the comparative operators, or the relational operators are those: greater than or equal, greater than, and where did I have this? We should have put this less than. We have less than. Here we have what? Greater than or equal, less than or equal, and there's 6 operators, and I have the not, equal, and equal. And why do we use here 2 for the equal? The first one is saying is testing equal, meaning testing num. This the first. Equal is saying is num equal to 0. So that's why we have one of the most common mistakes also is having a single equal sign. Some compilers they'll run and you will not notice anything. It's hard to debug. Another common mistake is putting a semicolon here. Another common mistake is adding a condition for the else statement here. The else just that means the default whatever is else, or the complement of that. And let's see what we have. Okay, we have what's called the short circuit evaluation, and let's see where can that happen. Short circuit evaluation, it can happen if I change this to less than, or no, let's leave this because this is as an input. I don't want to confuse you. If I take this control copy, or no, let's put it here 1, and this is num. So it's checking first what? Num1, is it greater than 0? False. What's num1? It's negative 10. We declared it as negative 10. So short circuit evaluation is just saying if I have an and I have one false, the whole expression is going to be what? False. So that's it. Quit it. Don't go and test the others. Don't go check the others. Short circuit evaluation. I already evaluated it and it's false. All of it is going to be false. Also here, a similar case. If this is true, in a case of an OR, if I have one true, all of them are going to be true. So search circuit evaluation, just return one true. We don't need to check the others in the case of OR. And I think this covers everything in if else. In lecture 7 we're going to take some examples on that. Sorry this took that long, but I don't like to give you a 10 minutes video. I want you to understand everything, comprehend every possible situation. Another that reminded me of something is I can say a really nice way to write an if else statement is just by doing this. I can say cout, and I can here use the, and what am I gonna output? You're gonna see how it will show you. Cout, I can say if, which one should we write? Let's try the first one, this one. Oh no, let's try this one, because I want to show you with the else also. Here's another way to do it. If what num1 is greater than 0, and this is checking, I'll do if num1 is greater than 0, it's a positive number, same as the second type, this one. This is what I'm doing here. It's a positive number, and let's do \n. Did we add \n in there? And let's do them too, make it look good. And here I'll have else. What did we do else here? It's a negative number. Or I can do an end line, but let's do it as it's a negative number. I don't think you'll see any other situations in case of an if else. So I try to cover short circuit evaluation, the other form of doing an if else without using the if else. Here I'm saying check this. If it's true, check if true, do this, else do this, same as this one. And this is to write it without an if else statements. So we did this short circuit evaluation. We took the 6 comparison operators or relational operators, and we took the 3 logical operators, and let's run our code and check, save. And remember, I'll post all this code in the comment section for you guys if anybody needs it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Let's compile. Okay, now it needs me to close this. Okay, I'm gonna close it, and I'm gonna say G++. What is it? Why is it G++ dash O and do Gaith, and I'm gonna have if else file. I'm gonna compile it. Okay, I'm getting errors. Warning, missing terminating character enabled by default. Where do I have it? Cout. Why is it missing terminating character? If that's the else. Error, missing terminating character, cout. It's a positive number \n. It's a negative. Missing a terminating character. And let's say else without a previous if else I have an else without a previous if. Usually we have to first fix the first error and then go. So I would go and look at this error, but this is, let's go to the code and see what's going on. This if cout num is not equal, num is greater than 0, it's a positive number, else it's a negative number. Okay, I have one of my errors is here, and we had a line 74, this was 80, 79, 78. One of the if else's is okay, see, because I didn't put curly braces. Usually fix one error and compile and run it and then come back for the second error, because fixing the first error might fix the second error, but because here I knew it's gonna give me another error if I go back, so I close it. Now I'll compile and run it again and see the output clear. It compiled. Now I need to run it by using Gaith. You can put your name whatever you want here. It's just running. Please enter a number to determine if it's a positive, negative, or 0. Let's put 7. First type of it's a positive number. Second type, and remember we have num1 as negative 10. It's a negative number. Why did we'll check why it gave us here. Third type, num is positive and num1 is negative. Okay, we switched the cases here. If you remember, we switched so I could show you the short circuit evaluation, but we'll fix that problem. Here it's printing num where we assigned. Remember we used the body of the if statement, and let's show the code here so you can see it. Okay, let's do G. I prefer always looking at the code, and here we can try. Rest, this is gonna be the first here. Cout, first type, it's a positive number. I'm checking num, which is 7, is greater than 0, true. This is the second type, and now if num1 is greater or equal 0, cout, it's a positive number, else it's a negative number. So it's checking num1, not num which num1 is negative 10, so this is true. Third one, what do we have? Third type, if num1 is greater than 0, false, short circuit evaluation. We exit this we go to the else. We don't check the second one, short circuit evaluation. Else if num is greater than 0 and num1 is less than 0, 7 is greater than 0, true, and true. Num is positive and num1 is negative. Printed it here, this one, and now what did it do? Assignment operator made num1 equals num. So why is it giving me 7 and 7? Oh, did I make it? Okay, we were here, sorry. Now this one, this is short circuit evaluation. We exited. Here we have num, which is 7, equals num1. So now num1 doesn't equal negative 10 here. it equals 7. So here it's printed 7 and 7, and because I did this, it will not look at those two. It's exited because it's in. And here's our case of what? Here we have C out, num1 is greater than 0, and this is the if checking. If num1 is greater than 0, it's a positive number. Else, and I'll show you this part, do this. So basically we're using here, let's say, the question mark clone for if else. And let me post that code. Hopefully this was useful, guys. I'll post all that in the comment section. Please let me know if you have any questions.